Over here, me and John were talking about the economic boom that Trump just got, and I think John got more of it than I did.
Yeah, yeah, it's okay. Actually, it's pretty good. Actually, the news is pretty good. Um, let's see, it's up in the quarter. The past quarters have done much better than they anticipated. But that also doesn't. Of course, we're talking about too about how that translates to real life, people. And I got a breakdown on that we can go into.
Well, what I mean is, it sounds good on paper, but it may not be good for the average person.
Right. There's a. It's just like anything economic or anything else. There's a good side, bad side, pluses and minuses. And like I said, I got a breakdown on some of that. So
But you would think that a better economy would be better
Better for
for us,
everybody,
but
right?
that's not necessarily true. It just gives the corporations a better chance of raising prices.
Well, I think the thing is that you have to. I think everybody. I think everybody imagined or expected that when Trump came in by June, everything was going to be unicorns. But the problem is you have to fix things, it takes time. I mean, economics takes time to get one thing after another thing to another thing, and so you have to fix one thing to fix another thing to fix another thing. When he came in, egg prices were what, over $5 a
Yeah, but that's
dozen.
not what we're talking about. We're
No,
talking
but
about the numbers that just came out.
right, but the tariffs actually came in
But we're not
November.
talking about the tariffs right now. We're talking about the numbers
But the
that
tariffs,
people would think that would the economy would be better and things would come down is not necessarily true.
what I'm saying is the tariffs have a lot to do with the
But
economic
okay,
numbers.
again, we're not talking about the tariffs right now. We're talking about the numbers that just came out.
Right. I think the numbers are an indicator of what's going to come in 26.
Okay, will you explain it?
okay, I'll just give it what I got. This is from ChatGPT, and this is what they find out. Here's what I asked him. I said, they come back with a non-economic contender in numbers. They just presented you. Know that here's what a breakdown. There's a fair and important question. Here's a lot of people miss when they hear good economic numbers. I'll break this down plainly and carefully. What good non-economic economic numbers usually mean? GDP growth, low unemployment, stock market gains, business investments, consumer confidence, low
So,
inflation.
in other words, it's not going to get better for the average person. These numbers
Well,
mean that
Nothing.
things are going to be more inflated. Prices are going to go up because there's more money out there, and they're going to say the consumer's buying more. So, what happens when people buy more of something?
Everything goes
They
up.
raise the prices.
exactly, and that's you pretty much follow where I want to scroll down here. I'll show you pretty much backs up what you said. The people who are not going to be able to really who benefits from is the middle class workers.
Well, and the corporations.
Right, in the corporations, true. But the people like you were going to see mostly in the Flint area, the people who are struggling, the underemployed or unemployed, they're going to suffer setbacks because of inflation, because of all that stuff that's going on with
Well,
rents.
even if the numbers for inflation are coming down, but that's the problem. The problem isn't the economy going up; it's the inflation's still out of control. I think it's inflation's
2.5.
2.9, 2.9. I just got the numbers before I came over here.
I thought it was at 2.5.
No, it's 2.9.
Okay.
I see what's basically what the information you just gave pretty much goes along with what's here. People with who's going to benefit the most, people with 401ks, IRA stocks, wealthier households, pension funds. Why? Because stock market growth directly increases wealth. Asset inflation favors people
But
who already own assets.
But if you break that down, it's only a small percentage of the American people that
Right.
are going to
Right.
get anything from this
Well,
supposed great news.
underemployed. Okay. So if you go back to that, John, pull that back down a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go on that. And the underemployed, you're right. If you look at that, where the people with 401ks, unemployed people don't have 401ks, IRAs, and stocks. You're right about that. In a wealthier household, that knocks them out in the pension funds. It knocks every one of those guys out, right?
No, what it says here, the ones like I said, we covered the ones who who is going to benefit from it. And like I said, if you scroll down to further, where you say here, I think you can see it there. Who's going to be negatively affected or left behind?
Low income.
Yep. So that's basically the bulk of the people.
The people that you should be helping.
Right. So it's like, but I mean, of course, everybody's going to say everything's trickle down. They're going to try to defend it by trickle down economics. Well,
To a certain point, that's true.
it's true. Yeah. I mean, when you got people really on top.
But when you've had we had the reset, I guess you would call it, with COVID, that screwed up everything.
Yeah, it totally.
And it has nothing, it hasn't been right, it hasn't righted itself yet
No.
because of the Biden administration.
They screwed
I'm not
everything up.
blaming it on, but I'm just saying his administration didn't do anything to help it.
No, they didn't. Certainly, with the things they put in place, certainly did not help. Plus, he simply didn't address the issues. They didn't try
No.
to soften it.
They kept on saying,
Still giving
and
it away.
they kept on saying the economy's great, and the media
Bought it.
agreed with it and parroted everything that he said.
Right. That's exactly the word. I just covered this too. I was looking at about what psyop is, and when you hear the media and all the other influencers come up with the same information over again, you're in the middle of a psyop. Psyop. And that's exactly what they did. The entire Biden administration. They created this great.
Well,
psyop.
first thing they did is shut down everything. They shut down all the small creators. All the creators were afraid to say anything because they were going to lose their accounts
Off
and
YouTube
their
everything else.
yeah,
Social media,
their
everything.
money.
Yep.
So I mean, it's just So I mean, and that's what he's dealing with. He's
What-
like for the first
what-
year.
Go ahead.
The first year or so that Trump's been in office since he got reelected, he's dealing with that. Some of that's going to be the aftershock, but then again, it's going to take a little bit more into the economy, maybe to the third quarter or so. It's going to show what direction he's going to take the economy, I think, and his policies. And I don't see it's going to be drastically changed. I don't, because of so much stuff behind it, that came in behind it before that.
Now, did you see the press conference the other day when he was talking about bringing in the new Navy fleet?
No, I didn't see that.
Did you?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so he's actually introducing and actually bringing new shipyards out into the Philadelphia, open up all the new shape, the old shipyards in Philadelphia are being.
So we're going to
reopened
build
again.
our own
Ships
Navy.
again. Our old ships are being built now. They're called
And
now. They're going to be called the Trump fleets. The Golden Trump. Okay, yes, I know you're not going to like that name, but they're going to be called the Trump fleet. It was actually introduced. I saw it on.
I mean,
Monday
I
night.
don't know what's the difference of naming it after any other president. I
Right,
mean,
right.
if he does something, his
But-
name should be on it, right?
Right. I guess that's just,
But he's actually
I-
doing it to the point where he's saying that back in World War II, we were actually building out and sending out a ship a day into the war, right? Whether
Okay, but we don't have a war.
But he's actually saying, here's what it is. He's like, we are right now.
Do we need to build a ship a day?
No, but we need to have our shipbuilders building out ships and building out the different wars because we're actually
Why?
defeated.
We shouldn't be in any wars, and I
So-
think John
yeah,
agrees with
so, yeah,
that.
Well,
that's
we shouldn't be in the wars, but we should have the power that.
why should we be in war?
Why?
Because if
It's-
somebody wants to come against somebody, you
Why?
should actually have the ability. to
Why?
defend
Okay,
yourself.
that's what I don't understand.
And I don't-
I'm sick of being the world
Cop.
police officer
I don't wanna
and
be
taking
that. I
care
don't
of
wanna
it.
take care of
Why
anyone
not?
else.
Why don't we just step back and let them deal with their own problems?
I don't want to deal with anyone else's
Europe
problems.
is far enough away that it's not going to affect us.
No, but I don't want to be in the middle of a war if I don't have enough.
Yeah, but
weapons.
the thing is-
Why do we have to
but-
be in it?
Because the thing is, what I'm saying,
I don't wanna come against you, I
what,
don't want to be there.
what, as soon as you said what Trump has said during that press conference about building ships and stuff, he's anticipating could get us into more warfare. Okay, and why are we doing this? Every dollar we're spending on that, we're not addressing our infrastructure.
No, we should be taking care of ourselves, and we should be taking care of the American people, and not
Well, actually,
not building ships.
but in a
There's
way,
other
you are.
things we don't build. We don't even build our own cars. Maybe he should be
And they're
investing
actually-
in that, in
Okay, so
having cars completely built in the United States, not
That'd be a bad idea.
not built somewhere else, shipped in and assembled here.
I mean,
that would be a bad idea.
Maybe that's a better idea. Instead of building a stupid ship,
Back in
maybe
19
build cars.
Back in 2010, when a group of guys got together, looked at it kind of economically, they looked at it and said, "You
Okay,
cannot-" wait,
they're-
no, wait. You guys
They're
talk
only as
about-
good as their political persuasion.
No. When you look at common sense guys that looked at it and said, "You guys are talking about under us guys that are like
No,
middle class."
because
Wait, we're talking about middle class people. Wait a second. You guys want to talk about middle
so
class
how
guys?
is the ship help middle class people?
Stop. Let's get off that. You want to talk about getting the cars built here. You cannot look at how much money it costs to build a car in America. Start
So
from getting-
if you
getting
start
done.
building it, guess what? Guess what? I'll say, guess what? That's one of your words.
Yes.
Mm.
If
my
you
phrase.
start building here,
I'd love to.
you know what happens?
But
The prices come down
how?
because you got competition.
People want to, let's say
You got states that are going to fight for that factory.
well, another thing, here's a point. I don't know if you've heard about Toyota is making a pickup truck. Basic one is like 10, 12, $14,000, around the 10 to $14,000 range. Way cheaper than anything we can get in the United States. It was prohibited from coming offshore into onshores here because the price is so low.
But guess what happens is that truck comes in here and starts selling.
Right.
Then our auto manufacturers, that there aren't any because Chrysler's not Chrysler anymore. It's Stellantis or something like that, some foreign owned guy.
Yeah, and all that.
But what I'm saying is it will force them to lower the prices on their vehicles.
See, another thing is too, with the military buildup like that all the time, we pay the price of it, and then nobody else compensate us for what we use and what's destroyed during these conflicts. It's always on us. They don't pay back anything.
And then not only that,
But
then
but here's the deal, John. In one way, here's the thing. If it actually employs people in the country, I'm not going to sit here. And
so I would rather employ people making
I'd rather employ them
making
making
vehicles
cars. I'd rather
than
do that.
ships.
I'd rather do that too.
Why don't we just, I'm going to go on the way out on the limb here. Then why don't we just increase fentanyl production? So, hey, it's increasing production in the United States and people are getting wages from it. But now you're passing it on to your population. It's going to kill a person. The same thing. It's the same thing. You're killing people off. You're allowing your population.
We're not killing people in fentanyl.
When you go, what do you think war?
What do you
is?
think war is, man? What do you think? We're so blithe about, oh, we're going to send more children to our, isn't it great? They're serving in the military and they're getting, oh, well, my son got killed or my daughter got killed.
God, I was in the military.
Huh?
I
know that.
So was I.
So
So
what?
what's
We were in the military.
big deal?
So I wasn't in the military, but I can see, guess what? It doesn't have to rocket scientists or military
You don't
find
have
that
to
people
get,
die in the military.
and you don't have to get your hand burnt by fire to know it's hot.
Right. But the problem is that it's not okay. I'm not saying that it's the best thing in the world, but at least we're actually saying, hey, we're actually building.
For what?
For what? For other
So what?
people's countries.
Yeah, we also can actually build other ships too. Not only the war ships,
Why?
cruise ships.
Why?
We're not making cruise ships, though. That's a total different line of production.
We could actually turn it and build cruise ships.
Down the road, when we stop making weapons of war, yeah, maybe, but that ain't
Maybe
going
we
to
can start
happen.
doing it now.
Huh?
Maybe you would do it now.
Yeah, not Trump. Oh, no. We got too much at stake in the Middle East to forgo that.
Why would we have too much at stake in the Middle East?
Israel, where do you think that's at?
Oh my God, could we one day get off? You know,
No, we can't get away from it. It's a huge
No.
part of what's going on in this country right now.
Christmas is tomorrow, and Jesus wasn't born in
So what? I mean, that doesn't make any
He
sense.
wasn't born in Israel, by the way.
I know.
But he was born, okay, it was already under Roman occupation at the time of Christ. It wasn't a kingdom that stood alone.
I know. This is a fun joke. I'm sorry. Calm down.
No, but I mean, we're
No, it's the same thing when Hanukkah creeps into
It's just blood
December.
pressure medicine. Just calm down.
no. The thing is, another thing. Oh, yeah, bring in this too. Menorah, the Hanukkah, good thing. I just saw this thing. Before you guys came in here. All the other things we can't have nativity scene on government property,
But they can
So
have a menorah.
We can have menorah. That's fine because that's cultural. A 2,000-year religion such as Christianity is not considered cultural at this point.
When was that?
Go check the internet.
South Carolina. Are you talking about South Carolina?
The battle's been going on for a long time about public displays of religious freedom.
The Supreme Court came down and said that you can put the nativity scene on any public spot.
As long as you put
The menorah.
the menorah up and
No.
everything else up that goes along with it.
That wasn't the ruling.
Yeah, it was.
Yes, it
Rulings-
was.
No.
Yes, it was.
The
It's
ruling said that
freedom.
it-
It's religion. It wasn't just the nativity
It
scene.
said you could put anything about there, but it also
It has
said
to be
it's-
equal across the board. That's
it also said
where
that-
the spaghetti monster or whatever came about.
Right.
In was it Wisconsin?
Yeah, Satan, and also the Satan, satanic.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it sounds good on the surface. People are employed, but making weapons. I mean, like I said, we're going to be killing people or are having our people get, and we're so happy about that.
I'm not happy about that, John.
No,
I'm
but
happy
the
that we're employing people, that we're getting people back to work.
Who? How
In
a
Philadelphia.
minuscule amount of people are
Yeah.
going to be going back to work? It's not going to boom our economy by building.
No,
a
but in
ship.
Philadelphia, it could help.
But building cars
Building cars.
would
would
help
help.
more.
How about
help
road
a lot.
construction? How about bridge construction? How about canals
Yeah,
construction?
how about
How
rebuilding our roads?
That would be great to do that.
I haven't even heard anything out of the Trump administration about fixing roads and fixing.
Never was. That wasn't even. It wasn't even his campaign speeches.
But the thing is, but it's what is.
But they were busting all over Buttigieg about it, that he wasn't doing anything
No,
to
they were
fix it.
busting over Buttigieg about all the stuff he wasn't doing about bringing.
Okay,
shooters
but
and
what are
stuff like
we
that.
doing? What is he doing? What has he done for
Sean Duffy
Pennsylvania?
actually
What
got-
has he done for
Sean Duffy's
Pennsylvania?
okay, hold up. So wait, Sean Duffy's gone into and actually gone into really remodeled and brought up a lot of the software and did a lot of the updates and brought in a lot of the upgrades to the software programs and brought up
What
the-
for
wait,
for
they're-
traffic controllers?
traffic controllers,
Okay,
because
how
it
does
was-
that help the roads?
Well, I don't know. I'd rather have a plane not falling on the road than anything else.
The
But think of
planes
those
aren't.
things-
The planes
planes
haven't
were
been
so-
falling. It's
wait, they were
safer to
so-
fly in an
Right.
airplane than it
But
is
they
to
were for
drive
a
in a
long
car.
time. But you know what? They were so far outdated. It wasn't funny. And
Okay, so-
give Sean Duffy's only been in there
Okay,
for 10
but
months.
we were talking about the roads.
Okay, so yeah, they can't walk and chew gum. Let them at least chew gum. You know,
But they were all over the Biden, or all over Joe Biden, because he wasn't fixing the roads, and now they're not fixing the roads.
did you ever hear Trump ever campaign on fixing the roads?
No, but
So why
I don't know.
Just
I don't really
because he
know.
doesn't say it. Okay, here's what I think in it. So you're a business owner, right, Todd?
Yeah.
You see all the obstacles and issues you got to deal with when you take a business. Now, say you got the money to acquire another business, don't you got to look and see what's going the existing conditions of that business to see if you could address them? That's the way it should be with the president. If he's going to be taking the control of the control of this economy and whatever, he's got to look at what's got to be addressed. He doesn't. I'm not automatically have to articulate or spell it out, but he should have a plan for it.
And look what it's been the last couple of months: Venezuela.
Yeah, that's been
What a
kinda
joke.
stupid. That's been kind of stupid.
Then he threatened Colombia the other day.
What?
That keep on talking, talking about Colombia having producing cocaine and having, I think he said seven plants, and that he knew exactly where it was being produced. He said that the president of Colombia was a bad person, and sounding like that's
Anybody that goes after says anything.
okay, but
anyone that says
we've
anything
made
bad
so
about Trump,
many mistakes trying to topple regimes and trying to make them better.
We suck at
We
that.
always get screwed.
We suck at top.
Well, another thing is too. Look at what Venezuela really does, other than the drug production and close to that in Colombia, right?
Do you believe that we should have held on to that oil?
Well, that's
I
what
don't,
that's.
yeah, if you're going to take it,
You can
hell
take,
yeah.
take oil, but I mean,
we held
that's
the
what it's
oil.
really about. That's what it's really about. He don't care how many people OD on the
No.
streets. He doesn't care.
No.
No.
It's
They-
the oil.
Yeah. Donald Trump doesn't care about how many people are strung out on drugs. And guess what? There's something we can actually say to American people: if you don't like the drugs coming in your country, stop buying the damn drugs.
I say that.
I
Yeah.
would say that all day long.
I mean, it's like stop buying them.
What
I mean,
we do, I worked in mental health for like 8 years. We coddle those people.
Yeah, we do.
it's like you doing, you know, when you're something is doing is devastating.
Well, we tell them it's okay. It's not their fault. It's everybody else's fault.
Yeah, like I have a friend who went through AA and he also went through NA. And he's also said the only thing he disagrees with severely about all these 12-step programs, it is not a disease, because basically disease comes about because something that you might not have control of.
Well, you got to admit, there's some people that gamble that can't control themselves, and there's some people that drink that can't control. There are.
Yeah, there's some that, but what he was saying, the point is, by saying it's a disease, he says a lot of way he saw it. This guy's went 20 some years in the programs. Okay, he said that the way he saw it is they were trying to use it. Basically, it's beyond me. I can't control it. And okay, you do have measures within your hands to control it. And you also have assistance to how to try to assert what you have. And this guy, like I said, I mean, he lives, breathes, and eats
Right.
this AA and
Right.
NA stuff. And he said he didn't like that. He doesn't believe that is an accurate model. It's like it's worse than a disease because it's driven by your own impulses, and it's something you can actually address. That's what
you could control it to a certain point.
I agree, but
If you're out of the element. But unfortunately, what happens is people come and get help, the mental health, the help that they need. Some go on to go to recovery, a longer term,
Right.
like a month, sometimes 6 months. But if they go back to what they came from, they're going to get back. They may be good for a couple of months,
Yep.
but they're going to get back into it.
yeah, case in point, girl I grew up with, she strung out on drugs. She got the rehab a couple of times. Finally, she gone away. They put her in jail, and then after jail, something she had to go to a rehab center. She came off for about half a year. She was okay. She started using again. She's gone now.
gone
she
like
died.
that.
But that's
She
the
died.
way it is.
Because she came back to the same neighborhood with the same people around her. It's stupid. I mean, there should be a relocation program that goes along with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm serious.
But the problem is, what are you going to do? You're going to arrest everybody to protect people?
That's the point too. I mean, does laws making work? I've heard some people say, "I'm glad I got busted by the cops because it got me focused in how I have to address the problem when I was in jail or in prison." But is that the course to go? Because look at the sheer economic numbers, and look at also now they get tagged with the record that's going to
And
follow the rest of their
'cause
life.
once MDOC gets a hold of you, you're screwed. Because that's the first thing when police officer pulls you over for a ticket, that comes up.
Like, I mean, I was never aware of that until we started doing programs, and we also had people come in here other programs.
Right.
And there was a man who comes in, does a show on a fairly regular basis, and he used to work in corrections. And he came out, and he's retired from that. He does a show from here, and he said, look, our programs for addressing drugs and stuff like first they're incarcerated, now they have a record dragging behind it.
Well, and then the shitty thing about it, you find out some of these judges are part owners of recovery programs, and they make the people go through their programs.
Yeah, and they get a kickback and they get paid.
So
It's an industry.
It's
a
exactly-
cottage industry.
what could be a tragic situation. They just made it. See if I can make some bucks off them. That's okay. Well,
That's it.
yeah,
That's it. Everyone gets paid.
And they're
back.
forced to go through, and some of these judges have friends and they make laws where they have to go through these programs directly after prison. I worked in Waterford at one of these places that a judge owned part of it. And these parolees, as part of their parole, had to go through that program.
you've got a tailor-made program that works great because, well, not to mention, I'm actually part owner of it.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's
And they own the places that they have to go to do your analysis. They own everything.
And they get a kickback from everything.
Yes.
No big issue.
Yeah, and knowing that, would you really think they're really intent on trying to get people back on the straight and narrow and live a good life? No, I don't
They
think.
get-
And
they
this-
make more money while you're going through rehab.
And the silly part, some of these guys would go through this 6-month thing before they got out of prison to go to parole, just to find out they have to go through it all over again
Once they get out.
once they get out. So they paid. So the citizens or the taxpayers paid for that program twice because it costs them money when they go through it in prison, and then it costs them even more money when it's residential because you have to house and feed these people. Why wouldn't you do it in prison? Well, why wouldn't you do it there
You got to cap the
and then hit the road and not have, and the taxpayer doesn't have to pay anything?
Yeah, I mean, there's volunteers that would go in with that kind of training that would willing to do it for nothing or next to nothing. But no, it is exactly what Steve was pointing out. These centers are set up with these people who owning them and are writing the checks and making money off of them. I mean, it's a scam. I mean, it's like it's not just that. Like youthful offenders in other countries, as parts of the
Nobody
country.
ever gets. No one ever gets arrested for it. No one ever gets found out about it. No, nothing. Everyone keeps getting kicked back to everybody.
Well,
And
I
they
had a
keep voting
friend.
for- keep voting for
His
them.
brother got a speeding ticket. It had nothing to do with marijuana, and they tricked him into taking a urinalysis. He didn't have to take the urinalysis, according to the attorney. He could have just said no, but they pressured him until he did it. And of course, he had marijuana in his system. Guess what he had to do?
Go rehab.
Go to rehab.
I smoked a joint. Yes, I'm an addict. It's just
What I'm saying is, our system is
It's right.
against you.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you think you're a good person, but it could be anything that they can get you with.
If they want to get you, it's always a crime looking for a person.
But that's what they did. They had him take a urinalysis that he didn't even have to take.
And most people don't know. they
And no, and guess
absolutely
what?
couldn't.
In the add insult to injury, he had to pay for the urinalysis.
Oh, God.
Let's put the noose around your neck and you got to pay for the rope. I mean, and the thing is, people submit to that stuff because they don't know
think
the
he
law.
thought
Wait
he
till
had
they-
to.
wait till they start
He
paying
thought
for
he
the
had
casket after you die.
to. They pressured him and made him think that he had to take it.
So they lie through the teeth.
He thought maybe he was going to get a better deal on his ticket.
Yeah, did you ever you've seen the cop videos, interaction videos? People say, "Well, if you just go along, they're not out there to hurt
No,
you."
because no, first rule, they're allowed to lie to you.
Yep, they lie through and they can't stop it after a certain point. They lie about everything in their personal lives. But I mean, no, I mean, I'm serious. It's like people got to know that. That's one of the best classes I ever had when I was in high school was you and the law. And I mean, serious. The guy who taught it, who's his brother and his sister-in-law were both lawyers, so he got up-to-date information. So he updated it all the time. Great class, probably most useful classes I ever had the entire time I was in public school. Because I mean, so many interactions. Because as soon as you get stopped by cops, if you mention you're stopped by cops, well, if you didn't do anything wrong, you got nothing to fear.
No, yeah, you do. You
Yeah,
have a lot to fear.
And it's
Does
like
have a lot.
I tell people, I said, every time you talk to a cop, they're a fishing expedition.
Even their mom. I mean, you ask a SWAT team dude or sniper, you see the target in your sights is your mom. What's the next thing you feel? Or what do you feel? He says, trigger squeeze.
Stelling. That's like chilling. That should be chilling, because what it is we weaponized because they get a paycheck. Now they got to rationalize by paycheck by making it more noble than it actually is. It's not noble to be in that role necessarily. I mean, let's face it. Fewer instances of them actually being needed and actually in
No,
those
once they put the uniform on, it's them against us.
right.
It's they're a god and
You're dog
below
shit.
them. Yeah.
That's what they
I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's not their fault. It's just the way the system is.
and let's face
That's
it.
what we created.
And I'm sure that they go in, and there's probably some great. I know that I've met some great police officers. I'm not throwing them all out with the bathwater, but what I'm saying is when you get into that, and everybody else is acting like that,
Right.
it's like what was the name of that experiment where they were shocking people? They
Milgram.
thought they
Milgram.
were shocking people.
Milgram. Yeah, Milgram was the researcher.
I think it was it for wrong answers?
Yeah, the wrong answer did and
They would shock them. These people, towards the end, they were blasting them with shocks.
but see what it was like what it was is the people who were participating in it actually were going along with it and pretending like they're getting shocked. They weren't really
And they
fired,
weren't.
but they weren't. But the people didn't know that, so they're still willing to put that person through that much of a shock because somebody in authority position was telling them to do it. The research was considered the authority figure. Yeah, it's a very famous or infamous research. The Milgram. It's back in
Yeah.
the '60s. Yeah,
You can see it if you search it on YouTube.
it's one of the first
These
things I
people are
learned.
screaming in pain
Yeah.
like they're dying, and these people are at first they're hesitant to do it. They don't want to do it, but towards the end, they're just pushing that button
And just
and
having
not
fun with it.
caring.
And so the thing is, what it is because you've already engaged in a certain point at that
And you're
point.
desensitized.
You desensitized to it. I might as well go along with it.
And
because-
that's what I'm comparing the police officers to. Once you get amongst your ranks and everybody else is acting like that,
Might as well go with it.
that you're gonna start acting like that too.
Okay, for example, it's not so bizarre because if you just
Same thing with the military.
yeah, the military. Like I was going to say, you're around a bunch of people and they have the certain ideas, and all of a sudden one of those ideas doesn't jive well with yours. Do you speak out against it when you know you're going to get trounced on? You're going to try to avoid that subject, right? That's why a cop's not going to go and tell anybody on their tell something. This guy did this.
No, because their
Because
life
you want-
could
you want
because
your
they're
wake up.
well, not only that, their life could literally be ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah, the literary. So I mean, it takes a
Life-
ballsy person to
life
stand up.
order. Yeah, everything.
Like Frank Serpico, the story of Frank Serpico in the '70s. You know, the early '70s in New York City. He stood against his own people. He got shot for his efforts. He got shot in the face. He survived it, but I mean, last time I knew, he was living in I think he's passed away now, but he was living in the Netherlands.
And you can watch the movie too.
It's a great movie, yeah.
Al Pacino.
I think it is, yeah. Al Pacino. It's like it's shocking. I mean, he stood up to corruption. It was minor at first, and he tried to get along with it, and he couldn't. He had a conscience. Frank Serpico to me is like a hero, and always will be. Because I guess maybe some ways I got a left wing thing. It's like here's what you're supposed to do as a law enforcement, and here's what you're not supposed to do. Because guess what? If you do that, you're no longer law enforcement. You're a lawbreaker, just like everybody else. And that's what I have a real serious issue with. But no, I mean,
Well, I mean, how many times have you broke the law today?
inadvertently, you could probably when your feet hit the ground in the morning, you could be breaking the law.
What I'm saying is we're not perfect.
No, that's what exactly. I mean, but the thing is, do you want everybody to be caught and prosecuted for every minor infraction?
No.
No,
Well,
that's-
because you got to remember, laws are made by who? Man.
right. And they're also made by people who are in
And
this.
made by people who have something to gain by
right.
some of these laws.
I'd say a large portion of it.
And you don't know all the laws are made anyway.
Yeah, there's no way anybody
I
can.
mean, look at all the laws that suddenly popped up during COVID,
Oh yeah,
or not laws, but what were they calling them?
statutes or
Statutes.
Yeah.
But they were still
Executive
laws.
orders
If
and-
you didn't go along with it, you could face jail time.
I had a cop call on me for being in my office. You know, I had some lady who drove by my office because I was actually working, recording in my office, and she went up, called the cops on me. And the cops came up to my office. I wanted to know what I was doing in my own office.
People used to watch movies about the Cold War and in Russia and the Soviet Union, and how would they do that? They found out like a large portion of the population would spy on the other portion of the population. And so that's the way it was. It was encouraged. Like, it was made. Now you're a good citizen if you're doing this, and that's what they did here. They're doing that thing. It was exactly it.
Here's where I got pissed off when people started. Here's where I got pissed off with the COVID stuff. I got pissed off with people when they were sitting there talking about, oh my God, you could save a life. When you could wear a mask and all that sort of stuff. And then all the people but these guys were the same people I knew would drive drunk. You know, I'm thinking, where the hell is your brain with that? But hey,
that's
wearing a mask, that's going to save you.
The perfect example, they kept us in the dark here in Michigan. I thought the rest of the states were doing the same stuff that we were doing, because the news wasn't reporting. Remember, the news wasn't reporting what was that Texas wasn't
or Florida
wasn't playing.
Or Alabama.
It wasn't until later on when it got old. They didn't report anything.
No, because it's like, we don't want you to see the other half's living, but
But Texas, I think they masked for
a week.
I don't even know if it was that.
Yeah, and it's like, that's not effective. And
Alabama was maybe for like a week.
Well, what I'm saying is, in this state, you would have watching the local news, you would have thought it was the end of the world.
Yeah.
Look, we were doing shows about that, and man, YouTube was like so eager to throw us off.
Yeah, that we had to move. I mean, our religious shows stayed on YouTube,
Right?
But
you gotta go to Rumble.
For the church, the church shows stayed on YouTube. They didn't have a problem with that. But Mr. Moss,
yeah, because he was questioning. Then me and Laura Fetterbush are doing shows about.
And they weren't even really questioning it.
No, we're just saying, okay, just like, oh, yeah, but they were eager to throw us. I mean,
but that's why we went to Rumble.
We had
actually having a hard time with churches at that time.
What?
I was having a hard time with churches because they weren't standing up to anybody saying, "Hey."
Of course not, because they're corporations.
Yeah, well,
for the most part, they're the big corporations.
Another thing is a lot of pastors say, "Well, we got to do that's the law of the land. We got to obey the law." So I mean,
that is not.
No, I agree.
That I was so ticked.
I don't even think we had one church stand up in Michigan.
No, I don't think so either. Matter of fact, the church I go to, the reason why is because so many people go there so older, they consider that being safe, keeping it safe for them. I'm not being open. But then after such a period of time, they said they had a meeting. Everybody showed up and they said, "Do you want to open up?" And they said, "Yeah." They got tired of it being so they did it on their own, but they didn't try to do a heroic stand against it.
I went to a church where the pastor
said
if you didn't follow this, you weren't a Christian.
But you were talking PSYOP,
right.
And this is part of the PSYOP.
Exactly.
To stop people from having weekly meetings to compare notes. You know what I'm saying? After church to say, well, I think this is sort of stupid.
Right.
But the first thing they did is to shut down churches, but they kept liquor stores open.
Yeah.
Well, look at it too. Like in Whitmer, she and her cronies would sit around a bar down there in East Lansing unmasked. But then she went to Florida to visit her dad when she told everybody else we couldn't travel. Everything she told us not to do, she violated. So her husband tried to get their boat on the water before everybody, nobody else could. But
I think the person that was managing his boat told him to set on his thumbs and spin.
Yeah.
And then he reported it to the news.
Yeah.
But it didn't do any good.
No, because people reelected this moron. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, she's
and because everyone thinks she's so great.
But you got to remember, they're at the end of the day, they're all morons.
They're people. Did you ever notice the person when you were in high school who ran for class president? Was a guy who's just a person who was just glib and popular. They weren't intelligent.
No,
they weren't intelligent people.
Yeah, but what we're going to do in school, as class president, what we're going to do?
Guess what?
Changing policies.
But maybe they're not electing those people. Doesn't it? Maybe with less encouraging them.
Unless you're Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro was cool.
Pedro was going to make your wildest dreams come true.
Yeah, exactly.
That was such a goofy show.
That was good. That was good.
I gotta go watch that again. but that's like Kurt Vonnegut said that. He said, the guy you couldn't stand in high school is the one that gets elected as class president and later goes to politics.
Talk about that. Let's go about that. Talk about that. Let's talk about the Epstein files.
No.
Can we for 5 seconds?
Don't care about them.
I do care about this.
I don't.
I don't care about the files, but I do care about this. Why is all these different people? Everyone wants to see what the different redacted files is.
Because
Why are we not arresting the people?
because you're talking about something that happened in the 2000s, and some cases happened in the 1990s.
Yeah.
They don't.
So
What's
statute of
the
limitations.
Yes,
has run out on all that stuff.
well, they could bring it to trial. They could bring. Okay, they can put charges, but then again, try to follow through on those
It's not
charges.
worth
could be
the
in court.
money.
It's not worth it.
Most of the people, everybody's dead.
They did that deliberately, and they know that they delayed it long enough, kept it all for so everybody either died off or moved around their lives or terrified to come forward. That's what it is.
So
And all it is
but there's never been a politician, except for the guy with gold bars, Menendez. But it took 3 times for this guy to actually be convicted or found things wrong with him before he actually
because he
did
was
convicted.
accepting foreign money.
Yeah, that's the only reason why he got convicted. I mean, he even tried to blame it on his wife as stage 4 cancer before he actually went to prison. But there's not many people that actually ever on the politician side that ever or celebrity side that ever go to prison.
No,
Yeah, this is like what was it? Rankowski was that his name?
Ooh.
I know Jim Trafficking didn't go to.
Trafficking
Trafficking,
and
yeah.
Rankowski. It's people who stand up against the system that they go to prison.
Yeah,
Right. The guys that go
It's
along.
not people who commit the crime because they're all committing
The
crime.
former governor of Illinois when he's trying to sell off the.
Kurkowski,
yeah.
or not Kurkowski, but yeah.
I forget his last name.
But trafficking is a big guy. A guy. Well, he is a big guy too.
Yeah,
But he was someone who was screwed over because he stood up and let people know what
I'm
was
afraid
going on.
Fetterman might go after. They might go after Fetterman because he actually makes sense and says stuff that's true.
which is weird because when I first saw him,
Oh no, I like that guy.
I do.
I
I mean,
do too, but I mean, I'm afraid that they're going to go after.
well, yeah, I agree with you.
But
well,
they told us he was a bad guy. Remember?
well, yeah, he was.
all the Republicans hated him.
Oh yeah, he's like such a weirdo. Look at all this. Look how he can't even talk and stuff.
No,
It's like,
he's just
so?
a normal
And now-
person.
Now the Democrats can't stand him.
And I think he should leave the party. And I think I'd become a person without a party.
No, he's like Rand Paul. Just somebody to go to get news bites. He really can't do anything.
He just basically sits there and they'll actually when you know what the funny thing is that when they go talk to him, he's out sitting on a bench out there in the I don't know
Like the mall or
In
something.
the foyer?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
foyer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not hiding from anybody. He's the only one that's not running from anybody. He just sits there and answers any of the questions.
No,
they
he's
want.
the red. He's like the Democrat red meat for the people, just like Rand Paul's the red meat for the
Yeah.
Republican. I mean, he always votes no, but it doesn't do any good. No.
Somebody was making fun of Massey and Rand for that, and they're just
I think
contrarians.
Rand Paul does. I think Massey does more than Rand Paul.
Oh yeah, I think I really
I
have.
know Trump hates for Massey now, but
That's right, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
but who knows? It could be they go out. Well, Trump, I guess, doesn't drink, but they could
Yeah.
be hanging out together. We don't know.
Yeah, that's true. And
They
but
could be calling him and saying, "Man, I'm gonna bust on you today, dude.
Yeah.
Get ready for it." Okay. What did I do? Okay.
just tell me what I did before I get there.
because
So what I'm saying is, it's a soap opera.
yeah, that's exactly why. What's
They take turns.
I'm gonna be the bad guy, okay, and we're gonna really dump on you.
No, because they talk about how these people supposedly argue and talk shit about each other all day,
And then they go out to
and
dinner.
and then they go out to dinner together.
Yeah.
Like Lindsey Graham was hanging out with
Joe Biden.
the other side.
Joe Biden. It was called the Class of Four. It was Biden. It was Biden. It was Lindsay. It was.
Right.
who
But
was
what
the
I'm
old
saying
guy?
is it's ancestral. That there's no right and left in Congress anymore.
No, it's whatever we can get away with and whatever benefits us the most. Then okay, we'll go along with that.
And I stand corrected. Even though Congress means everyone,
Mhm.
you two were right. It mostly it has morphed into meaning a representative
Right.
and not a senator because they wanted to be called senators, even though they are technically congressmen.
That's true. And it's just, but we do have. They always taught to us in the civics class. It's bicameral legislation in Congress and whatever. And it is 2 houses, But we know about bicameral, 2 houses. But yeah, and then also I think the senator actually means old men or older men, or that's what it's supposed to mean. The original meaning of the word. But obviously, it's been broadened to include females. But it's Politics has
Supposed
to be
it's supposed
expensive.
to be the older house of
Yeah.
the elderly one.
But I just wanted to let you know
Well, thank you.
from last week.
Because that's good information to have because it corrects what everything was, if anybody else is operating on what we said earlier. So, no, I think it's like interesting that they don't teach civics classes in most schools nowadays. Did you notice that?
Civics or home ec.
Or American? Yeah, they don't.
Remember, I don't know. We had to cook I don't know about you,
Oh, we had
but
a
we had a stove and everything. We had to cook in there.
We had to cook.
Recipe
I
and
made
just
pancakes.
like cake and eggs, just little things.
Yeah, I didn't have to cook. I
We
already.
had wood shop.
I mean, you had to know how to do a recipe.
Oh yeah, follow recipe
And
and
then remember, had the checking account. You had to be able to balance the checkbook.
Yeah, and kids don't do that.
I learned that in typing class actually because it's like business and typing.
You know what? They don't even know how to do a signature today.
They don't hear what?
Drew's in 7th grade today, and 7th grade,
Right.
and this is not a slap on Drew one bit, right? He knows how to do a signature, right? But his class, they have never taught him how to do a signature
In cursive, you mean?
in cursive.
No, that's true. I mean, cursive's out. They don't teach it.
No, they
He had to
print.
teach.
They
He had to
print their signature.
Because he was talking to us about it, and he's like, no, they don't teach it anymore because everything's done on the computer.
That's the basically people put up there on Facebook, like, scripture, the script, like the Constitution, the Bill of Rights was handwritten. They said this could be like alien to
But it
somebody
makes
else.
you wonder, can they even print anymore?
No, I mean, he does. I mean, he's really smart. I mean, Drew's one of the smartest kids I've been around, right? So it's not that.
But everything's turned in on the
He-
computer,
Yeah, everything's on the computer, and he's like,
so you don't have to
it's all
write anything anymore.
no more.
So I can't really say much because myself, I've fallen into
I
that.
mean, he
habit.
does actually have to fill out different things for math and stuff like that, but numbers and stuff like that. But
Yep.
no, he's not sitting there.
I can't write in like cursive. I would be like hard put to if I had to write something long out in cursive. I couldn't do it.
Why
Yeah,
are
but we had to wait
Z's,
till-
Z's, G's, and Q's?
It seems like
mine
it's hard as a handout more. No.
I look like a big line.
I always thought Z's were stupid.
Yeah, I always thought that.
And I thought Q's were stupid. And
Oh,
P's.
Q's I suck
Q's
at.
and P's
Yeah, just watch your P's
and
Q's
R's.
That's what they meant back. Watch your P's and Q's
Yeah.
back in the old days.
But no, I couldn't. My dad had like a manuscript, like he'd like a monk. It was weird. He had thick hands and thick fingers, and he had like his head formed. The hands are disformed, but you could when he signed something, it was like this came out of you. You know what I mean? It's like
My dad and mom both had. Well, they both went to Catholic schools.
Oh, you better know how to write.
My dad was ambidextrous because of that. Because he's actually once he got out of school and getting his hand slapped by the ruler, he went to his left hand, but because they forced him to be right-handed.
See, my sister's left-handed, and we had a teacher when we were kids. She had a teacher because we had different classes. We're twins, though. But anyway, she's left-handed, and the teacher tried to get her to write right-handed. You don't do that. My mom flipped out.
You just let them pick up the pencil and see what hand they're going to pick it up with.
If she was insisting you got to write with right hand, well, that's going to screw kids up that way. If they're, they feel they're not maybe confident enough with what a handwriting looks like doing the opposite. They're dominant hand,
Right.
and that feeds into like insecurities and stuff. And my sister's got good writing, and to this day, I mean, it's like definitely very feminine, but you can tell it's really nice. She's
Mine
better.
sucked the day I graduated from high school. That was it.
Yeah.
It sucked.
I can't write for squat now. Like, I have a cursive. No, my cursive's off. Printing I can do fairly decent, and I have got out of that just by texting or typing or whatever. I've gotten out of that. I mean, it's an effort now to actually write something out.
Like a week ago was Julie and I's anniversary. So I was signing their card and everything, and I wrote it. And she came up to me and goes, hey, what was this word? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't even know what I even wrote in the card. So she actually,
You can
an hour later, she came back and told me what that word was.
Yeah, it's like when I wrote, only God and I knew, and now after that point of time, only God knows. Right?
Only God knows right now, babes. I'm so sorry.
That's what I've wrote stuff out too. I hand it to somebody, and a couple of weeks later they come back and they said, "What is this?" And I'm looking like, "Your guess is as good as mine."
This was only an hour after.
No, I wish we could. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we should start a cursive campaign here, but I don't know. I mean, it would be great for me to improve my standards on that.
No, but I don't
At
know.
least be able to read it.
Yeah.
Because all of our documents, funding documents, are in cursive.
It looks like a foreign language. I bet you do these kids nowadays. It looks like a totally foreign language.
Because he asked, he's like, what was the signature? And when someone told me about it, I'm like, I looked at him like, do you not know what a signature is? He's like, I don't know a sign. I know how, this. I'm like, that's your signature. He's like, really? I mean, we were talking about it, but it's like, I'm like, they didn't teach you this. I'm like, they taught us that back when we were fifth grade. I mean, we knew.
Well,
this
remember
signature was.
we were from 1942. We had to learn how to sign checks. Remember,
Yeah.
It's like,
How they
your signature was important.
nowadays it's like nowadays it could be replicated, and then obviously the auto pen. No, I wish we taught kids that stuff. I mean, I was taught it. I didn't do it well with it, but I was taught it.
But there's
I
so
think
many
we got
people
your
that think it's not worth learning.
I think we just got to stop teaching kids feelings and start teaching kids basic, real things.
Well, what I think is the biggest thing is too, like I've seen people we want people to have good self-esteem. So we're going to teach them modules on self-esteem. No, you teach them the stuff you're supposed to teach them. And then when they succeed in that's where your self-esteem comes from, your ability to perform well on those things. They put the cart before the horse. Like you're a great person. Everything you do can be great, but they don't give them anything to do.
Or how many times did your teacher tell you that
We did great.
people didn't do well?
Yeah.
No, when I was
that you could do better.
Yeah, I had teachers like that, and then they're angry.
I think every class growing up, I think we heard every teacher would say, "Oh my God, I've never seen crap like this before."
Well, it's really easy to take when you're in elementary
But you
school.
think about it, if the teacher did that now, I think they'd be in trouble.
Oh God, yeah, and the kids would be out
How
there
dare
crying.
you talk to my child like that? They put in a maximum effort. You should praise them for the effort that they did put in. Oh well, they didn't get anything right, but at least they wrote something on the paper.
They felt good about it too. They felt good. I'll tell you what's really bad when it happens, you get admonished when you're in elementary school or the lower classes, but when you're in college and you have a professor who turns back your first exam with a signed drop slip on it because it's the first couple of weeks in the class, basically saying, I know you're going to want to drop out. He did it for the entire class. He assigned a drop slip.
What class was it?
It was a psychology class.
I would have dropped it because it's not worth it.
Well, it was a demanding class.
Dumb class. Yeah, but if you probably took it from somebody else, it probably wasn't demanding.
I've tried that option. He was the only one, unfortunately, teaching that section.
No,
So.
I'm just saying, I had a government class that the dude first day he stood up and said, "For every hour you put in here, you're gonna spend 2 hours out there."
Taking this.
I said, "Guess what, dude? Bye."
I'm not into.
I dropped this class. Government wasn't
Needed.
it was needed for my associate's degree at the time. Yeah.
But
So
you
I
couldn't
just
take it
took it. I
somewhere.
just took it online.
No, there's I think that they overly demand, like what he just said. No, that's
Fuck, screw
absurd.
that. You're gonna brag about your attrition rate for a government class?
That's my attitude about that psychology prof. He was boasting basically. Look, I drive people out of here. Well, that's not your job, is he?
No, you should be. You should
Because he gets paid.
Right.
You should be happy that you're able to convey information in a way that everyone in the class gets it.
Because all the professors
I'm not
do.
saying give the answers. I'm just saying be a good instructor or a teacher or professor.
Well, did you ever have a professor? You didn't know if they're going to go out, give the test out of what they given you in lecture or what they're taking right from the textbook.
Well, with Rubik's and syllabus,
Yeah.
supposedly you're supposed to know what they're going to do.
You would think, but I had a professor he didn't know where he was going to take it from because a lot of times what he give us in lecture would be different was in the textbook we had.
Yeah.
Totally different, a little different numbers and everything else. So I said, and he changed it up, man. It was a very hard class. I didn't think. I mean, I understood the premise of it was a religion class of all things. History, so anthropology or sociology of religion. Huh?
Where'd you take that class?
U of M, yeah. But I was like, well, which one are you going to take it out of? And that was everybody else's question. It's like because he'd give different. If it was the similar things, you could say, well, I didn't understand fully, but he would use different numbers from what was stated in the textbook. It's like so. It's a toss-up. Like which one numbers are going to use? What
Well, there's different numbers in the textbook. He's telling you to go through the textbook, then he's wrong.
right. So
He's the one.
we have the thing is, here was the lecture notes, and here's what he was given, what was in the textbook, and what we had to use the textbook. Why? If you just go by his notes, it's stupid. It was a stupid way of doing it. I thought. And he was
So was it religion covering all religions?
yeah, it covered all religions. It covered we studied Shintoism, Buddhism, we studied Islam, we studied all the major Confucianism and whatever. Yeah, we studied everything.
Sound like
All the
sound-
isms.
Isms, yep, yeah. So it was an interesting class. I got a lot out of it, but like I said,
sound
he
like
was like talking about population numbers, for example, in different religions in different countries. Well, he would give one during the lecture, but it wasn't what was reflected in the book. And the book was within 2 years of the class being held. So they're pretty much relatively supposed to be current numbers. So everybody was. I mean, I had a friend who took that before me, and he said one girl failed because she went out of the textbook because she missed a couple of lectures, and he held obviously because she was given the wrong answers to him on that test. She almost failed the class, but not failed the class, but failed the test. My friend had to argue with the same. This was the same professor too, Then he relented and like, okay, I guess I can understand why. But then he didn't change his course of it, the way he did it later because I had him after this class. They had that class.
Maybe you should read the textbook.
All right. So I mean, just state which one numbers you're going to use, but then why give any numbers if you're giving them different ones in the lecture?
But luckily, I went to Central Michigan and Ashford University. Everything was online and already preordained. You know what I mean?
Right.
The test was going to be the test.
Well, no, you take traditional classes, obviously in classroom. They also took online. I actually think taking online courses requires more effort. in
Well,
some
what
ways.
made me mad is okay, you're going to make me go sit through a class, but then I'm going to go online. That's why I switched over to Ashford University, which is all
Online.
online. Because
How-
why waste your time going in to class if they're going to only make you go online anyways?
You're right.
I like online classes.
So I think
No, I didn't like it. It just got, but it was six. It was only 6 weeks
Right.
per unit or per class, so I got my degree faster.
well, I think it was tougher. I took one class with a University of Phoenix. Okay, when it first started, so I took it. It was supposed to be like an intro class, and it was like 1 credit. And but my mom was like actually getting bad, really bad. My dad and I were staying up all nights and stuff with her. Now you think I'd get a line to be able to log in and do it, but I couldn't because they had different times you could come on. But when you answered the question they proposed, you actually had to write it with APA format, total, make sure that was perfect. I want the answer. I was like, who does that in a class? And when you ask a class, generally you're responding verbally and you're not doing APA format. So I think there was more demands on it, and I had a hard time with the class.
That's the professor. That's
Right.
That's not. That's not.
Yeah, that's
normal.
the individual.
But I mean, I thought it was tougher. I thought I think, I mean, I got to give people kudos when they said that they graduated from online courses, and I can think there could be challenging. I thought it was harder to go through the online class.
No, it was for me. It made more sense.
Yeah.
To me, in my lifestyle, I like online better because you know what? I can go on and do what I got to do throughout the day. Spend about an hour to get all my work done. with homework.
But like I said, even Mott, I went there for a minute before I figured out it's just a bunch of little high school kids, and that's the way most for until you got into the core of what you were taking.
Right.
But what I'm saying, it was all online. You're sitting in there in the classroom just for them to tell you to do this, this, and this online before the next class. So
Right.
what's the point of coming
Your class.
in class if I'm doing it all online anyways? And again, that's why I switched over to Ashford to finish my degree.
Chad, I think it's good to have you had both experience a traditional classroom and lecture hall, and then also the online thing. And it's like I said, I've done mostly just lecture halls and conferences and seminars.
And my problem was I went to university first
Mm.
and then tried to go to Mott
Yeah, there's a
after being in a university, at Central Michigan,
So that
and then trying to go to Mott, and then
that had to kill you.
they were dumb as a box of rocks.
Mm.
These kids.
Yeah, someone like they had the I remember when I was at campus, I went over there just to take a couple classes after I left U of M and when I employment as well there, and I had some good classes there. But I saw they had they had a special classrooms where actually there was all these high school age kids in there, and I did think it had an negative impact on the entire campus because I think there was a lowering of standards. I really do.
They did lower
Yeah.
the standards. We talked about it before.
Because I mean,
They lowered the standard. Everyone doesn't need an associate's degree
No, I
or
mean-
a bachelor's degree.
like I
A
said,
trade school, actually, a certificate is sometimes the best
No,
thing for you.
these kids. Okay, think about it. Yeah, okay. We had one level of education when we were coming up, but they've had a device in their hand since what? Since they could hold a device.
right?
They know a lot.
You know,
I mean, you got to. It may take a lot to get it out of them, but I
Right.
bet you if you actually talk to your son, you would find out that he knows a lot.
He does. He knows a lot about computers.
but they said
Well-
they don't know how to, but they don't know how to translate from what they know to the outside world too much. And that's the thing is they got to be shown. That's got the
That's the hardest part.
applicability. That's it.
The hard part is it's like I always tell them why it's like you got to understand common sense. the world of applying this to world sense versus applying it to what happens in the monitor. The monitor is so far, but you got to go to what happens in the world, right? How does that happen? How do you apply this to real life? Because the real life isn't going to cut the grass, right?
Right.
That computer,
Right.
it's not going to cut the grass. That computer's not going to do that right now. What's going to do that? How are you going to fix that machine? How are you going to fix that? How are you going to cut this? Because how are you going to fix a plumbing issue? How are you going to do this? These are things. Well, I'll ask AI. I don't know. AI is not going to do this. You got to know how to do
But
this.
it's the thing. I think the younger generation doesn't realize what we were taught by our parents, that roofs wear out, plumbing wears out.
Yeah.
And that you got to do maintenance on your house and different things. People just live now. It just seems like they live in their house and let it fall down around the power
I noticed that.
around them.
I mean, I noticed that, and people don't. And I mean,
I'm not saying you got to rake your yard regularly. At least mow it.
Cut it once a week. Well, Drew, now that's the one thing I will tell you. Drew will be out there every other day cutting the grass. Our grass, I swear to God, looks like a golf course. That kid loves just riding that tractor all day long.
it's
Probably to get away from you.
probably get out of the house, and I liked mowing after a while, because the basic I could do that. It was like it didn't require a lot of thought, and you could think your own thoughts. You didn't have to push more. I'm talking about just and you made sure everything was clear before you got. And it was like 2 hours or whatever. I could just get caught up in my own head.
Is that push mowing or is that riding?
No, we were push more. Yeah, we only had from our neighborhood. It was like around here. It was like they're impractical because we had so much cut out
Yeah.
work. The push mower, just we had one, but it just didn't make any
Not in the
sense.
city.
Yeah.
Zip,
Well,
zip,
his
yeah.
dad did buy a tractor.
Yeah, he did. But he had he bought a tractor for a yard that was about the literal postage stamp. But
Well, your backyard's sort of big.
but he's like, it was really, I mean, in comparison, I mean, I could whip it out, and I can whip the front yard and the back, same house you would talk about, within 30 minutes. So, I mean, it was like hard,
But
basically.
it was big enough for a
Yeah.
tractor if you
Yeah.
wanted it.
But that's it. Besides, he
Probably
wanted
he wanted to be outside.
yeah, he wanted it, and he was like, basically, he had the money, and why not let him do it? But I got rid of it because I just use my mower. I mean, a regular push mower. I can whip it out. Like I said, 30 minutes ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. So, I mean, and besides, I do like that. I like that time to actually just think through my stuff, and you can get all kinds of stuff going on in your head. I like that, but
Especially with I wear earmuffs.
Right.
Or whatever you want to call them.
yeah,
I wear my headsets when I
Yeah,
do
you
that.
had
Yeah.
earphones, whatever.
yeah, because you cut off the,
Listen to music at the same time.
it knocks off that monotony.
And you don't have to talk to your neighbors.
That's
You have
so-
headphones on.
I got my headsets. I'm out there.
And he's got his headset on. I can't bother him. So that's the point. Yeah.
I go out there. I got
Right.
I got electric or battery operated hedge trimmers. I still wear, so I don't have to talk to anybody when I'm outside.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah. And it's like, do you okay? How many people though actually have no problem going out to dinner by themselves? At a restaurant.
Oh, I never have.
You never have.
No, I don't.
See, that's what one time we did that. I was talking about my friend. I mentioned to my friend. He goes, "Yeah, Steve Long, the one that passed away," and he goes, "I can't do that." I said, "What?" He said, "I can't go to a restaurant by myself." And I never thought much about it at all. I just went in, got plopped down, and yeah. But I noticed that most people want somebody else.
I've
to
never done it.
You've never gone out to eat by yourself?
Mm-mm. It's always been an event
Yeah.
or whatever to go out to eat. I'd rather make my whatever at home if it's just for me.
If I'm traveling, I'll go out to eat by myself. I have no problem.
Yeah, but that's
different.
that's
huh?
different though, because you get out to eat. You want to you don't have the probably place to make the food up yourself. Yeah,
But I've
Right.
never traveled by myself, so
Really?
you went with a bunch of guys over a country and to another country.
no, I'm just saying. There's always been somebody there.
It's like that's I got a friend who travels all over the world by herself. I mean, she's got the money to do it. She lives in New York. She goes all over the world by herself. I mean, I kind of respect that, but it's like, and she's totally not fussed by it. She just does whatever she wants to do, and she goes wherever she wants to do. I think that's gutsy. I mean, if I had the resources, I don't know if I'd want to do that by myself. Because I think you'd want somebody to stay at the hotel or be able to check back at the hotel or something
Well,
happens to you.
I've been everywhere,
Yeah.
so
You've been to how many countries?
a lot. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, I've already traveled.
Right.
I don't want to travel anymore.
You're down home right now, right?
Yeah. Because he feels like, well, I don't know. I mean, if I had the means, to
I
travel,
know enough in my traveling
Yeah.
that the rest of the world sucks.
Well, Well, there's
No.
Even here in Flint, Michigan is better than a lot of places that I've been in the world.
this British guy who was this expert on accents, but he always said, the Europeans look down on Americans because they don't have a passport, they don't travel. He goes, they don't have to travel. They got everything they want here. They got deserts, they got mountains, they got oceans, they got lakes. He goes, why? And they don't need a passport. You don't need another language. Why would you want to go travel somewhere else when you don't even get the chance to see everything you got in your own country?
A lot of people, some of the people I've dated in my past are, oh my God, because you travel, all those
Right.
countries, and they think it's a way to, it's something to make you look better. There's nothing about Michigan that I don't think you're gonna find somewhere else.
No, Michigan's a nice state in the summer.
Yeah,
Yeah, the summer. I hate winter.
No, winter is nice too if you want to go snowmobiling or
Right.
whatever,
No, but
or
I
skiing.
like I said, I mean, everybody said, well, I used to have an objection to it, to travel. And if I came to the conclusion, if I had the money to do it, I would do it, but people, so we get to go out and see other people all over the world. And you're going to find out they're the same.
I mean, you got all Canada to explore.
Right.
right.
Massive.
And then Michigan has a lot to offer.
You got the UP.
It's gorgeous. I mean, I don't think I don't think I've ever seen anything prettier than stuff I've seen up in the UP. It's just gorgeous. I mean, and I like water. I like the Great Lakes. I love living on the lake, the state that's got the Great Lakes. I love that. I don't think there's anything better. I have friends that live in other parts of the country and they went, well, it's this lake. And there's one girl in Alabama.
You might as well call it, I mean, it's big enough to be a sea.
Yeah, it's a sea. And I said, she don't understand. I said, it's a lake.
It's, yeah.
She keeps on, I said,
one of the hugest bodies of water in the world.
yeah, it's like what?
I said one of,
right.
not the,
Lake Superior, what's on 3 states and a couple of provinces of Canada? I said, this woman down in Alabama, she goes, it's a lake. I said, it's not like you're looking across and seeing Joe and you can wave across any other shore.
a lake that's going to take you a few hours to cross.
So my friend used to sail from the Riata, or from Chicago up to the Mackinac and then back.
Yeah.
That's hundreds and hundreds of miles. I mean, you got
especially if you're following the contour of the land.
Yeah, it's huge. And it's like, I mean, could you imagine doing it? That would be an exciting part to be, part of the team on that, and you've been several times.
After about an hour, I'd be ready to call it quits.
Yeah, I'm done with ship life. I hate to tell you.
Well, yeah, but did you ever get seasick?
No.
Oh, no, because those big ships kind of absorb it, right?
No, you can get used to that kind of thing.
So I don't know. I've never been on that big of a ship. I mean, I've been on the Great Lakes and stuff for a couple of hours, but an hour or so at a time.
Yeah, the ferry was enough for me.
Yeah.
I just get bored. That's it. I'm just bored.
Could you imagine traveling on a wooden ship from, Europe to the United States or, the North American continent? They must have been ballsy people, man. I mean, how many people would shipwreck and they never know that you're gone? The ships would just totally disappear,
When I can't get into my car and drive somewhere, it drives me crazy.
Yep. But anyway, I just think that no, I think how long were you in the Navy, by the way?
3 years.
Okay, it was enough for you.
I got hurt.
Oh, okay. So you time to play the music, you think?
I think
You want to?
Yeah.
So, Merry Christmas, y'all.
Oh, funny. I can't stop that. There you go.
Still